Tragedy in northern New Territories as worker dies in a construction fall. New eyes in the sky as police will start using drones to deter reckless drivers next week. And Portugal mourns as Lisbon cable car crash kills at least 17 people. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Evelyn Bai. A worker has plunged to his death at a public housing construction site in Shengshui's Kudong area, adding to the city's fatal construction accidents tally this year. Jeremy Zhu has more details.
The incident occurred at around 10 a.m. this morning at a public housing construction site on Castle Peak Road, Chowtown. A 26-year-old framework worker was using a tool to fasten screws on a scaffolding cage when he reportedly lost his footing and fell onto a second-floor platform. He suffered severe head injuries and was pronounced dead despite emergency treatment. Deputy Director of the Housing Department, Daniel Learn, visited the hospital to offer condolences to the family, but did not provide details regarding the incident. Initial investigations revealed that, as the work inside the cage did not require a safety harness, it is believed the worker accidentally fell after a gate on the cage was left unsecured.
我哋希望要求翻，其實就係承建商啦，同埋房署啦，盡快去做個調查之後交代翻嗰個意外嘅。
Fei Su, Chief Executive of the Association for the Rights of Industrial Accident Victims, urged the contractor and the authority to quickly investigate the accident's cause to prevent future tragedies and called for compassionate support for the family. She highlighted that there have been at least 10 fatal construction accidents since January, half involving falls from height, and stressed that all levels of government must collaborate to improve safety measures. The Labor Department has classified the case as a fatal industrial accident and is conducting an investigation. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
Road users are urged to stay alert as police will increase patrols next week and deploy drones for the first time to capture evidence, aiming to deter reckless driving and make roads safer. Despite a number of fatal and serious injury traffic accidents having been cut by almost half in the first 7 months of the year. Cheryl Yun reports.
The city recorded 288 fatal and serious injury accidents from January to July this year, a 47% drop compared to the same period last year. The number of people killed or seriously injured also fell by 45%, totaling 321 cases. Of these, 272 individuals were seriously injured, while 49 people lost their lives. Notably, over half of the fatalities were pedestrians, marking a 21% increase from last year. Police highlighted accidents involving light goods vehicles as particularly concerning, with these crashes causing 13 deaths. Dangerous driving was identified as the primary cause of fatal accidents, with only a small fraction attributed to pedestrian errors. To strengthen enforcement, police are launching citywide operations, incorporating drone surveillance to crack down on traffic violations. Shek O Road and Route Tuisk, notorious for their narrow and winding paths, are selected for drone-assisted enforcement. Police will use drones to conduct high-rise patrols and collect evidence, aiming to heighten deterrence of reckless driving for those behind the wheels to keep roads safer. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Concluding a trial that had gone on for 160 days, a High Court jury has unanimously acquitted 7 people of terrorism over their roles in 3 bomb plots in early 2020. But 3 of them were found guilty of an alternative charge for conspiring to cause explosions. The jury also cleared an 8th defendant of trying to make explosives. Jamie Liu reports.
After deliberating for nearly 34 hours, the 9-person jury delivered their verdict for a total of 8 defendants linked to the alleged attack plan. Among them, 7 people faced a bomb-related offense under a United Nations anti-terrorism law, which has only been invoked in Hong Kong for the 2nd time since implementation. the jury found them not guilty of the charge in a unanimous ruling. However, by a majority vote of 8-1, the jury convicted 3 of them of an alternative charge under the crimes ordinance. Ho Chuk-wai, Lee Ka-pen, and Chang Ka-chun were found guilty of conspiring to cause explosions likely to endanger life or property, which is punishable for up to 20 years in jail. Prosecutors have accused Ho and Lee of helping to store and transport the explosives and alleged Chang of producing remote detonation devices. The court earlier heard that the 8 defendants conspired to plan 3 explosions in Caritas Medical Center, Lo Wu MTR station, and a car park of Shangtuk Estate in Changkwano. Lee, who was separately charged with giving police a false address to pervert justice, was acquitted. The 8th defendant, Chow Ho-man, was also cleared of trying to make explosives. The 3 convicted defendants are scheduled for mitigation hearings on October 10th and will be assessed for psychological reports. Following the verdict, National Security Police condemned the bomb plotters for escalating their attacks and endangering public safety. The 4 said they will examine the legal issues related to the acquittals with the Department of Justice. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
The government has dealt a blow to Hong Kongers planning a ride in a tethered hot air balloon at the inaugural International Hot Air Balloon Fest, which kicks off today. The 4-day festival features balloon designers and pilots from around the world, including Canada, the United Kingdom, Germany, and Japan. Visitors can see 6 big hot air balloons towering at 20 meters, over 10 smaller balloons standing at 11 meters, along with a special panda-shaped balloon created by the organizers. The event was set to include a tether ride experience, where hot air balloons are anchored to the ground with strong cables, allowing participants to ascend to heights of 10 to 20 meters. However, the organizers said their temporary place of public entertainment license from the government limited public access to ride in the hot air balloons, with only licensed pilots permitted to ride. Such an experience would cost an additional $580. Organizers are continuing to seek the government's approval. Meanwhile, curious visitors can still grab tickets priced between $120 and $880 just to take a look at the balloons. Portugal is in a state of mourning after a tragic derailment of the 140-year-old Gloria funicular claimed at least 17 lives and left 21 injured last evening. Online footage showed the streetcar derailed while barreling down a narrow street at around 6 p.m. local time on Wednesday, causing chaos and filling the area with smoke. The wreckage scene prompted passengers to get out of the other car, and bystanders rushed to assist. Witnesses reported that one carriage of the 2-car funicular lost control and sped down the steep street at full speed, hitting a nearby building. Emergency teams took 2 hours to pull out all trapped passengers, while the cause of the accident was still unknown. Officials confirmed that there are foreign nationals among the deceased. Local media reported that the accident may have been caused by a loose cable. The operator, Caris, stated that daily inspections, weekly and monthly maintenance programs have been conducted. Opened in 1885, the Gloria funicular can carry about 40 passengers in each car and connects the central Lisbon area with the hilly neighborhood Bairro Alto, covering a distance of 275 meters in just 3 minutes. This line is classified as a national monument, serving about 3 million passengers annually, including both locals and tourists. The country's president Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa lamented the accident, urging authorities to swiftly investigate the cause. In what could be a subtle expression of disappointment over not being physically invited to the giant military parade in Beijing, U.S. President Donald Trump remarked bitterly that he was surprised that President Xi Jinping did not acknowledge the U.S. role in assisting China during the World War II. Jeremy Zhu reports.
The commemorative event yesterday has attracted global attention, as it was the first time that President Xi Jinping, Russian President Vladimir Putin, and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un had appeared publicly together. When asked for his views, Trump said the overall event was impressive.
I thought it was a beautiful ceremony. I thought it was very, very impressive. But I understood the reason they were doing it, and they were hoping I was watching, and I was watching. My relationship with all of them is very good. We're going to find out how good it is over the next week or two.
But the U.S. president added that he was surprised that Xi, in his speech, did not recognize the contribution of U.S. troops, who he said helped China regain its freedom by winning the war. Not long after the parade began yesterday, Trump also posted on social media, suggesting China, Russia, and North Korea were conspiring his country. However, Putin, during his final remarks in Beijing, described Trump as having a good sense of humor, adding that throughout his 4-day visit to China, whether in formal or informal settings, no one expressed any negative comments about the U.S. administration. As some analysts view the gathering as a sign of shifting geopolitics, the European Union's foreign policy chief Kaja Kallas stated the three leaders are forming an authoritarian alliance that challenges the rule-based international order and seeks to establish a new world order. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
Meanwhile, in Beijing, the foreign ministry has responded to Trump's comments, stressing that China's diplomatic relations with any country are never aimed at a third party.
中方邀请外国嘉宾来华出席有关活动。
Spokesperson Guo Jiakun stated that yesterday's parade was held to commemorate the victory in the war, and foreign guests were invited to promote the value of peace and a shared future. He added that President Xi Jinping did express heartfelt thanks in his speech to foreign governments and individuals who supported China during the war. The Foreign Ministry also strongly condemned remarks by the European Union's High Representative for Foreign Affairs, Kaja Kallas, calling them deeply erroneous and irresponsible, and openly promoting confrontation, demanding an immediate retraction. Now let's take a look at the stock markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 284 points. Top ATIC stocks of the day: Tencent was down $6, SMIC was down $4, BYD was down $3.50, Meituan was up 90 cents. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar: Canadian dollar 5.64, Australian dollar 5.08. Exporters in the city have turned optimistic about their business in the third quarter, a trade survey showed. The major indices of the Trade Development Council's Export Confidence Index were up for the quarter, with the Current Performance Index increased from 49.6 in the previous quarter to 53.3, and the Expectation Index rose from 49 to 54.3 this quarter, both returning to the expansion zone, mainly due to the recent easing of global trade tensions, leading to a recovery in exporters' optimism. Meanwhile, the TDC raised its 2025 overall export growth forecast for the city from the original 3% to 7 to 9%. However, the trade promotion body emphasized that the trade environment remains full of uncertainties, and the latest revision should be viewed with caution. On to the weather now. Mainly fine apart from isolated showers, extremely hot during the day. Temperatures range between 28 and 35 degrees. That's our news tonight. I'm Evelyn Bai. Thanks for watching and good night.